How's it going, guys? Welcome to Anime Anxiety, the channel where we talk all things anime and manga. Much like today's video, where we're going to discuss a few reasons why we might get a chapter 166 redraw and maybe even some retcons. Now, let me preface this by saying that in no way am I hoping for this to happen. Chapter 166 was incredible, and I just want to get to Saitama and Garos' final fight already. But there are a few troubling signs that we've seen in past chapters that have resulted in redraws from Murata, which might cause this chapter to get redrawn. So let's get into it. As I said earlier, I thought that chapter 166 was incredible. I mean, we got Garo versus frickin' Blast, and the fight was amazing. We got the deepest look into Blast's very interesting power set than we ever have before. Not to mention we saw Garo act the most ruthless we've ever seen him before by tearing out Genos' core and presumably killing him. And to top it all off, we saw a Saitama that is more angry and more serious than anything we've seen from our favorite bald superhero before. So why the hell change anything? Well, ironically, it could actually be because of all those amazing events I just named happening in a single chapter. Murata might decide that he showed his cards too quickly in this last chapter and moved to tone some of it down a bit. It sounds crazy, but we might have already gotten a redraw that proves that Murata would do it for this reason before with the chapter 164 redraws. There were a lot of major details changed in the redraws, like how we got Cosmic Garo instead of Therapy Session Garo, but the one that stuck out to me as the most odd was the decision to remove the full-on reveal of some of Blast's team members. Most notably, a member that very much resembles Boros. So the only logical conclusion I could come to is that Murata just thought that maybe he revealed them too early and decided to save those reveals for future chapters and not take away from the current main plot. Murata might get the same exact feeling with how much he gave us in chapter 166. I could definitely see a scenario where we get a redraw next week and find out that Garo and Blast fight might be a lot shorter or less revealing of Blast's powers than the original. And this fight actually brings me to the next reason why I think that this chapter might get redrawn, and it's that there's a good portion of the One Punch Man community that thinks Blast was made to look way too weak, or at least a lot weaker than he was initially believed to be. And I kind of agree with this. It did seem like Garo wasn't fazed by Blast's hits at all, and we got a ton of shots of Blast looking stunned or overwhelmed at times. With how much Blast has been built up throughout the series, it was a little disappointing for some people to see him struggle so much against Garo. I, for one, think that Blast was nowhere close to going all out, and it was made pretty clear that he was more so concerned with getting Garo away from the civilians and the planet entirely. However, like how we saw with the original ending of chapter 164, an angry outcry from the fanbase might be enough to cause them to change things up a bit to make them happy. I obviously have no proof that Murata or One really care about this kind of thing, and I kind of hope that they don't, because I'm a big fan of writers and artists standing by their work regardless of the criticism. Either way though, we could have the Blast and Garo fight get redrawn or even straight up retconned by Murata and One, for the sake of making some of the fanbase happier. Now, the last and admittedly least likely reason we'll be getting a retcon or redraw chapter is that Genos looks way too dead to have him revealed as actually being alive without pulling off some serious plot armor. Now, I'm saying this with the assumption that Genos is still alive because I do very much believe that he is. You can actually check out a video where I go on to explain why I think he's still alive in the description below. But either way, like I said, Murata dug himself into a bit of a hole by showing us a Genos that looks extremely damaged. I mean, his freaking brain's gone, so I'm curious to see how they'll explain this away. They might go the easy route and just redraw this panel and make Genos look less damaged. It might just be that simple. With all that being said, I pray that Murata and One don't care about any of this stuff and I'm just a worried nerd, and we just get the full-on Saitama versus Garo fight in chapter 167. But what do you guys think? Did I instill some doubts into you like I now have, or do you think I'm totally overanalyzing and we're just gonna get a regular chapter next week? Either opinions are valid, and I want to hear what you guys think in the comments, so let's have a conversation. But if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like, subscribe, and hit notifications. I just started this channel about a month ago, so I'm relatively new, and any amount of support would be greatly appreciated. Until next time, I'll see you guys later.